Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's good to see all of you and be with all of you. And however you're coming to this Shabbat, however long or short or medium or good or tough this week felt, Shabbat is here to welcome you, and we're here to welcome you. So let's all take a big, deep breath together. And with that, we'll welcome Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sechem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And we invite in Shabbat with song and now with lights, with lighting our Shabbat candles. And I'll invite up Gail and Elliot to come help us out. The blessing can be found on page 2, I believe.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Yashar koach. We turn to page 20 for L'chadodi. We'll do verses 1, 2, 5, 8, and 9 to welcome our Shabbat bride. Page 20.
L'chadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibbur echad, ishmiyanu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, Shemu tiferet elitila, l'chadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat t'kabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat t'kabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha. Merosh miken emnesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshava techila. L'chadodi likrat kala, Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'oreh, kumi yori, yuri, yuri, shir daberi kevod Adonai, alayich nikla, lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin u'shmol tifrotzi be'et Adonai, taritzi al yarish, ben parzi, ben nismecha, ben agila, lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela.
Please rise and face the doors.
Oi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvetzol atoch emunei am segula oi chala oi chala dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat
We turn to page 22 for Magadlu, about 8 lines down.
Hallelujah.
You may be seated. Please take a moment to greet the folks around you or at home. Shabbat shalom. And And there's always more schmoozing and greeting to do. And even with that, with our love for each other, our love for Shabbat, our love for this community, we turn to the Chatzi Kaddish on page 26.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon. Uv'chayein techol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala. Uv'izman kari v'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach. Le'olam ulal me'al maya.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha
Brichu.
richu leila min kol birchata v'shirata
Tushbechata
v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'yimeru.
Amen.
Amen.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. And we are stirred out of our routine and into that noticing with the Baruch Hu. Please rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 28.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake?
Am I prepared?
Listening
Are you listening
my prayer.
to my
Can you hear
prayer?
my voice?
Can you hear my voice?
Understand?
Can you
Am I
understand?
awake?
Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai lai lai
Lai lai
Lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. You may be seated. We read together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
Uma'avir yom u'mevi laila Umavdil ben yom u'ben laila Adonai tzevaot shemo El chai v'kayam Tamidim lo chalenu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Hamari v'aravim.
We turn to page 32, and we can read together in the English at the bottom. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, We will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uv'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 40, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, Ose pele, Nora tehilot, Ose pele. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, Ose pele. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you? Mi chamocha.
We turn now to Hashkivenu, which sings of a sort of metaphorical shelter of peace and of love. And I also like to take this moment to recognize and imagine and visualize this beautiful physical shelter that we're in with all the snow and precipitation we had this week. Thank God we have a roof over our heads and a warm community to be with. Page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechayim Hashkivenu Eloheinu Leshalom Eloheinu Shalom, Hamidenu Shomreinu, Hamidenu Shom Lechayim, Lechayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Save us for the sake. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. From hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechayim Lechayim.
We turn to page 46 and rise in body or spirit for our Amidah.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Adonai sevatai tita. Adonai, open up my lips, let my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovin, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imaot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'Ma'an Shemo B'Yachava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Michayei Metim Atah Rav Lechoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neman Ata L'chechayot Me'etim, Baruch Ata Adonai, Mechaye HaMetim. Ata Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yahalucha Selah, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue silently with the prayers in our heart or in the book through page 62. You may sit down after you've completed your tefillah.
Lord, prepare me to be your sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be your sanctuary.
Lord, prepare me to be your sanctuary,
Pure and holy,
pure and holy,
tried and true.
tried and true.
With thanksgiving,
With thanksgiving,
I'll be your living
I'll be your living
sanctuary for you.
sanctuary for you.
Ve'asuri
Mikdash Veshahanti Betocham Ve'asachnu Nevarach Yad Me'ata Ve'ad Olam.
Oseh Shalom.
Im Romah Oseh Shalom. Im Romah Uyaseh, Uyaseh, Uyaseh Shalom.
Uyaseh,
Uyaseh, Uyaseh Shalom.
Uyaseh,
Uyaseh, Uyaseh Shalom.
Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring
Peace down,
bring peace down.
May the one
who makes peace
bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
Lord, prepare me
To be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
And we take that idea of shalom, of peace and wholeness, and we turn that energy toward our Misha Berach list to those who we're sending healing thoughts and prayers to this week. And this week we're saying a Misha Berach for Abba Noach ben Yehudit, Eliza Dorfman, Avivia Sigalit bat Devora, Barbara Lanzet, Barbara Zimin, David Feldman, David Lieberman, Diane McCaslin, Dina Luton, Emma Held, Ethan Kaddish, Eva Jacob, Gemma Rose Nicoletti, Harav Nechama bat Yaakov Uvernice, James Nicoletti, Jeremy Pivor, Jim Solomon, Julian Arce, Karen Gordon, Leah Batfegala, Lily Stander, Lisa Shapiro, Lynn Bauer, Mark Lampert, Mayor Abba Ben Reuven, Moshe Yoel Ben Esther Avraham, Nechama bat Trina Razel, Pam Ross, Peter Gross, Robert Friedman, Ron Abramson, Sam Goldenberg, Sarah Fega Babanka, Sarit Liat bat Panina Sara, Stephen Rose, Susan Hoyer, Susan Scheller, Tyson Botinas, Wendy Goley, Yosef Ben Gittel, Catherine Giles, Margaret Sweeney, Susan Stone, Bernice Slater, Norbert Grunfeld, Elizabeth Day, Lynn Nathanson, Malkiel Shlomo HaKohen Ben Rivka Yehuda Lieb, Ari Khan, Rachalea Bat Golda, Declan Alexander Kenny, Stephen Krasner, and Sylvia Wolfson. If there are other names you'd like to add at this time, please do. For all these names we've said out loud and all the names in our hearts, we turn to page 253 for the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
So the other night, I had a conversation with some friends over dinner about each of our approaches to making boxed mac and cheese. Now, we're all kind of chefs and we cook a lot, but we were split evenly in our approaches. Half of us were the, just estimate things as boxed mac and cheese type. And half of us were the, I read the back of the box at least 10 times to make sure I'm following every single instruction exactly right, and I have to keep looking at it between steps type. Now, I won't weigh in on which approach is the right one, because I think that they both have their merits. But I will say that this week's Torah portion seems to pose its own challenges and opportunities for people in that look at the box category. In Parashat Truma, we get detailed, and I really mean detailed, instructions on how to build the Mishkan. The Mishkan is this holy sanctuary that will travel with the people. It'll offer a physical place for God's presence to dwell among them. And the building of this Mishkan is a real patchki, a real involved process. Think more like beef Wellington from scratch than box mac and cheese. The curtains have to be certain colors, the ark has to be made of certain wood, the number of rods and fasteners is specified. It's all very exact. Among the many features of this Mishkan is the menorah. An elaborate and beautiful piece, it's crafted of a single piece of gold. And it's made up of elaborate branches with floral details, ornate knobs, and engraved cups. And one particular instruction about this menorah is a little bit unusual, even in this list of all its details. Exodus 25:40 tells us, "See and create. Follow the patterns for them that were shown to you on the mountain." Now, this verse offers some lingering questions. What do you mean, see and create? What patterns are we talking about that were shown on a mountain? And moreover, why do we get the specifications for the menorah on multiple occasions? Now, all these peculiarities might be a little frustrating, except that they lead to a great midrash or story that our rabbis tell. And in this story, when Moshe visits God on Har Sinai, on Mount Sinai, God tells Moshe, "Moshe, make a menorah." And Moshe responds, "Okay, that's nice. How do I do that?" So God says, "Okay, make it as a hammered work, make it out of gold." So Moshe says, "Fine." Moshe heads down the mountain. And by the time Moshe gets to the bottom of the mountain, Moshe says, "How do I do that again?" So up Moshe goes, right back up to the top, and says, "God, how do I make the menorah?" And so God says, a hammered work, make it with gold. And Moshe says, "Okay, got it. So Moshe goes back down the mountain. And again, by the time Moshe gets to the base of the mountain, he says, "Okay, there was gold involved, and I had to hammer it. How did that work again?" So back up Moshe goes. Now this time, God takes a different strategy. God says, "See and create." So God takes a menorah of fire and literally forms it in front of Moshe. And Moshe says, okay, I've got it this time. I've really got it. You showed me, I can create. And Moshe gets to the bottom of the mountain, gets those tools together, and says, "Yeah, I don't got it." So again, Moshe goes up the mountain. And at this point, God has some sympathy for Moshe. And he suggests that Moshe delegate the task. So as the Midrash says, the Holy One said to Moshe, "Go to Bezalel." Bezalel was pretty good at this stuff. "And he will make it." So Moshe tells Bezalel, and immediately Bezalel makes the menorah. Moshe was amazed and said, "How many times did the Holy One show me, and I still struggle to make it? But you who never saw it, you know how to make it yourself." So I love this midrash, and not just because it sounds a little bit like a children's book. I love the relatability here. I, as the person who reads the box of mac and cheese over and over, frequently toss the box into the recycling, confident that I definitely know how this works. It's just boxed mac and cheese, only to go, wait a second, how much butter was I putting in there? I've definitely been Moshe at the bottom of that mountain. And I also just love the simple relatability of being a little bit stumped by a task. Moshe is brilliant. He's brave. He's capable. By the time we get to the Mishkan, he's faced Pharaoh. He's split seas. He's offered judicial wisdom. He's literally received the 10 Commandments. He has some serious talents. And as it turns out, artistic metalwork might just be his kryptonite. I think there's a lot of wisdom in this midrash. I think it teaches us not to judge ourselves or others too harshly when we struggle. God does not judge Moshe for being unable to complete this task. God is patient. God is kind. God never says, "What's wrong with you?" or "But this is so easy," or "Ugh, forget it, I'll just ask someone else." God offers different points of entry for Moshe, and when it's just a little bit beyond Moshe's skill set, God says, "It's okay. You don't have to do this. There are only so many times you can bang your head against the wall until your head starts to bleed." And I'll admit this is advice I should take to heart. Although I struggle with computer formatting, although I balk with anything from how to adjust the margins to creating flyers and pamphlets, I usually let myself get to the point of wanting to chuck my computer across the room before I actually decide to ask a friend for help. And this midrash says, stop. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Even God says it's okay to walk away from something sometimes. And moreover, it says not to judge yourself just because of that one thing that you can't do. As the adage goes, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. If we judge Moshe by his ability to fashion a menorah, he might not be such a great gadol, such an extremely wise man in our tradition. But if we judge him by his ability to confront Pharaoh and help the Israelites cross the sea, we see his greatness. And in this midrash is also the wisdom that delegating is good for all of us, that it's sanctioned by God, and that more simply than that, it's a way to make things a little bit easier. When we're trying to get dinner on the table in my house in 30 minutes or less, it's not me, it's my partner Jenna, the one who does the just estimate things with the mac and cheese, who takes on the task. And when we're trying to make an elaborate cheesecake with very particular instructions, it's me who takes on the task. We both have our strengths, and we can uphold each other's strengths. So I share this midrash in the hope that it can teach us to recognize when to keep trying and when to delegate. I share this in the hope that we can take multiple parts of this midrash to heart, that we can do what Moshe did, that we can scale that mountain, we can take different approaches, we can keep trying. And we can also do what God did. We can recognize that each person has a unique set of strengths, and that when unleashed, we together have the power to make something beautiful. In the same way that menorah was one beautiful thing with many branches created with one block of gold, we too can create something beautiful when we work together and just delegate. Shabbat Shalom. We turn now to the Aleinu on page 282. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, L'taken olam b'malchut Shaddai, V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol ha'aretz, Vayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, U'shemo echad.
We stay standing as we turn to page 294 for our Mourner's Kaddish. This week, we are remembering the yortzites of David Band, Charles Birkin, Deanna Cohen, Rachel Davidson, Ida Dubroff, Harry Dudkin, Jeanette Markoff Farber, Jack Farber, Sydney Fine, Hannah Ruth Friedman, Randy Geller, Sylvia Goldman, Eli Golub, Doris Gordon, Robert B. Gross, Bella Kaplan, Rose Levitt Moss, Edward Luftig, Elaine Schumann Mark, Bertha Mayer Romanow, Jack Rubb, Shirley Rumerman, Edith Shane, Joseph Stone, Benjamin Toran, Charlotte Yorks, Abraham Zeder, and also Francis Jacobson. And we're still in the Shloshim for the recent passing of John Newmeyer, husband of Evelyn Newmeyer and father of Anne Newmeyer. Ronald Rubin, the brother of Linda Schulman. J. John Goodman, the father of Adam Goodman. Eleanor Lustig, the mother of David Lustig. Ernest Kahn, the father of David Kahn. And Melvin Slater, the father of Dan Slater. If there are other names you are adding at this time, please add them when my eyes meet yours. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma tivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yamachon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach olam me'almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shmei de kudasha brichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imramav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. So we have a couple of big weekends coming up. Even as we exit our Mourner's Kaddish in a place of sorrow, we also welcome in lots of joy in the coming weeks. Next weekend, we will have our annual Purim Carnival starting after Hineni on Sunday, March 5th. And on Monday night, March 6th, we'll be singing songs from your Broadway favorites to tell the story of the Megillah. Come in costume. There are also 2 opportunities for adults to engage in study around Purim. Next Sunday afternoon, March 5th, we'll look at the whole Megillah, or some of it, exploring this complex story together. And on Monday, March 6th, after the spiel, we'll discuss the Torah of everything but the kitchen sink. The following weekend, starting March 10th, we'll welcome artist-in-residence Dan Nichols, who will lead us through a whole weekend of songs for our souls. There are events throughout the weekend for all ages and interests, including a Saturday evening coffee house and a Sunday concert for the entire Hineni community, including parents. And don't forget, adults are invited to join us for dinner on Saturday night. There are many other events coming up, including an opportunity to learn to play mahjong. Details for all events and registration are all available in the weekly newsletter. Whew, lots of good stuff happening.
Lots.
And we increase our joy a little bit more with our grape juice, with the Kiddush on page 5. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh,
זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
And another way to increase joy and sweetness is with our lovely challah.
You take half, I'll take half.
Deal.
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Yalai,
Yalai, yalai, yalai, yalai, yalai, yalai.